The Nook.
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 Hello. Ladies.
Hey, Joe.
Gentlemen.
Hello,
others.
everyone.
KL.
How are you?
I'm doing all
think
right.
We're both in the same boat today.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been on like a handful of hours of sleep. It's fine.
It's all right.
That's
Coffee
what-
fixes everything.
It really does. It really does. Guys, welcome to episode 3 of the NookCast. Today, I am actually very, incredibly excited for today's podcast because we are going to be talking about everything Twitch partnership, the path to get there, the application process, and most importantly, I think, is Twitch partnership the end goal, and what do you do once you have partnership? For today's episode, we are going to
Stop
bring...
streaming immediately. No.
Yeah, you've done it. Can't stream anymore. We have 2 guests today, itsTwiggie and Hekimae. We'll be bringing them on in a little bit, very shortly. And just a friendly reminder for the entire podcast today, as always, we will not be reading the chat or interacting with the chat very much. The intent of this live podcast is, of course, to mimic a recorded podcast if you have not been here before. But we do have many Nookians here today in the chat that I did see briefly that you can all talk to and interact with and have fun with during the podcast today. With that, I think we should talk about some Nook updates. They're very similar to the updates we've had in the past. Update on the Big Dig. It's going well. We're on the 11th save file, so there's been 10 deaths.
That sounds like it's going splendidly.
And I will mention, guys, if you have not seen Twiggie's death in particular, you must. It is fantastic. We posted it on our Twitter. Go look at it. Go check it out. And also, I personally thought Faz's death was excellent as well because what probably was a good reminder that yes, reading chat is important and interacting with your chat is important, but don't dig without looking. And that's all I'll say.
Imagine digging without looking where you're going.
That would be me. That would be me in Minecraft if I ever play it more than 5 minutes. I loaded up Minecraft once and I was very confused about what to do. I think I need to watch a beginner video and just be like, how do you start Minecraft if you literally have no idea what to do? So guys, if you do not know what the Big Dig is, 14 of our Nookians are passing along one save file on hardcore Minecraft. If they die, they have to start a new world from scratch, and then that would get passed along. So it's been really entertaining to watch.
I think I have a sound for that.
I would definitely. Oh.
There it is.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks, Joe. With that, the other update we have for you is our other podcast that's being run by Hampy, that's on our YouTube channel that is pre-recorded, the Nook Spotlight. Just wanted to let you all know that last weekend, the 2nd episode came out where he interviewed the wonderful, the lovely JJam Jim, who, by the way, is having a 24-hour stream today to celebrate 3 years on Twitch. So if we can get...
streams are no joke.
They're not. I think it's his 3rd one, he said. 2nd or 3rd 24-hour stream that he's done. He started at 7 a.m. Central this morning and will be going until 7 a.m. Central tomorrow. He actually has an amazing schedule happening today. So guys, I feel like we're probably going to raid Jim at the end of the podcast today. But if you have not yet checked him out, please go send him congratulations today. Go say hi to him. Jim is lovely beans. And is celebrating a good milestone. 3 years on Twitch is no joke. I feel that's a long time.
It is a long time.
Anyway, that's about it for Nook updates specifically. For Twitch gaming news, Joe and I are actually going to keep this short today because we really want to get Twiggie and Heki on here with us to really talk about Twitch partnership. Because honestly, I'm excited to just hear them speak today with all of their knowledge. The first thing we're going to talk about, guys, if you didn't notice, Streamlabs Q3 streaming report for the industry came out on October 7th. And I read this the other day, and I was actually shocked by some of the information in here. I think it's no secret that viewership and also the amount of people streaming has just jumped overall because of COVID. And the data really, really shows this. Notable things, Facebook Gaming surpassed 1 billion hours watched for the first time. Ooh, congrats, Facebook Gaming.
Yay.
And then they made a note for Q3, because of Mixer shutting down, the majority of its streamers appear to have gone to Twitch. And Twitch now represents 91.1% of the market share for hours streamed, which is up 14.5%
Holy crap.
from last quarter.
Wild.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And they flat out call out that massive increase can be attributed to Mixer shutdown, which captured 14.2% of all content live streamed. So those numbers show that nearly all of Mixer went to Twitch.
Just they all went from Twitch to Mixer, and then they all just kind of shifted right back.
I mean, it would be a big jump to go to something like Facebook Gaming or even YouTube. Like, I've watched a live stream on YouTube before, and honestly, like, the UI is not great.
No, and then I also don't have my Kappas, Among Us. I don't have any of it. Like they don't have any. There's no BTTV, KKWs. No 5head, PogU. No, there's nothing of it. None of it.
Yeah. Not to mention you can't upload your own emotes there for people to use. So it's a little bit of a
no. What do they use of it? Is it just regular like emoticons?
Honestly, I shouldn't talk. I really don't even know how it works.
Goodness.
I probably shouldn't say anything. The one thing that's really interesting too is just, these three charts that you're looking at right now that we're looking at, just seeing like Twitch just dominating. But the one thing that I think is interesting, so yeah, total hours streamed, unique channels, Twitch is clearly dominating, but this total hours watched, I find very, very interesting because Twitch is only 63% of that. And it's like, so even though unique channels on Facebook is 2.2%, 14% of the total hours being watched is on Facebook, which I was actually very surprised by those two figures being as high as they were for YouTube Gaming and Facebook. Like they've got a decent chunk of the.
I guess those that do watch over there watch a lot. It seems.
That's I guess what that shows. Yeah, for sure. And then if we scroll down, the one thing that I was really interested to see, like, yeah, we've got total hours watched, total hours streamed. I feel like the charts look as expected, but the one thing that's interesting to me though is the unique channels. And this might explain why it was impossible to get any kind of technology like a few months ago. Like if you go on Amazon and try and look for like microphones or like anything.
Man, I saw webcams going for like $500. I was like, who's buying them at this price?
But there's a chart. If you scroll down, it's going to be kind of about halfway through the document, I think, for unique channels. There's this really just interesting chart, I think. So you can see like in 2018, Twitch was gaining popularity and then it went down like crazy. I mean, 4.3 million is still a lot of unique channels. I won't say that that's not a lot, but it's like they went up, went down, and then all of a sudden just boom, boom, and then and now we're at 10.5. Well, 10.6 now.
That is
10.6 million
graph.
Unique channels. Yeah, it is interesting. Considering Twitch managed to sustain this high number after surging 69%, nice, in Q2, due in part to COVID-19 lockdowns, it is a strong indication that Twitch will continue to hold its position as the leading streaming platform for many months to come. For fellow streamers in the chat, one thing that kind of made me feel better about just being on Twitch overall is like if you go to something like twitchtracker.com, which gives you like your rank on Twitch and like what you're in the top % of, like I kind of gave myself a pat on the back for seeing that I'm in the top 0.5% of Twitch streamers.
Yeah,
because
it
of this
definitely puts
crazy
it in perspective for you when you go on there and look at it.
It does for sure. And I think that Commander Root posted some data recently on Twitter, and out of the 10.6 million accounts that are streaming on Twitch, something like 9.5 or 9.4 are not affiliated.
That's a lot. It sounds. No, I wonder. Like, so do they make like? Are those people that have booted up a stream? Or are those just like?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. They're people that have booted up a stream in the last month or 3 months. Yeah, last quarter.
Oh wow.
Last quarter. Yeah. And then this Twitch average concurrent viewership graph is just really interesting too. Like I feel like so many graphs look like this right now because COVID, right? Like going from 1.4 million CCV average to 2.3 million. That's almost a 1 million increase.
I mean, yeah, it's COVID. Like it just led to, it led to people, you know, you got to seek that entertainment.
Yeah.
Or seek to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it's very interesting to watch. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting to watch Twitch getting so big. Like, I don't know, like not even just within the scope that these are showing, but even within like the last, I don't know, like 5 years, it's been really interesting to watch. Like considering how long Twitch had been around before that.
Right.
And like being on the website for so long, and then now like all of a sudden it's just like seems like it's just constantly booming.
Yeah. And then Facebook, their graphs are all just like these crazy inclines. But YouTube is interesting. YouTube total hours streamed is like this up down graph.
It's every time they take down one of those lo-fi listening streams.
Yeah, maybe.
That's when the dip happens. They're just like all of those streams go down at the same time, and then they get re-put back up and all the numbers shoot.
This unique channels one though is crazy. Like, so do we know when YouTube gaming came out? Because like if we look at 2018, 2019, like this unique channels number is crazy high. And then Q3 19, the amount that dropped, like did they purge a bunch of account? Like I'm very, do you know what I mean? Like look at that drop from 2.1 million unique channels down to 800,000.
I'm trying to think like, because it seems like that that drop is very similar to Twitch's, isn't it? When Twitch dropped as well. What was happening in Q3 of 2019? Because the same exact thing happened on Twitch.
Yeah,
like
I mean, not as severe of a drop.
No, but like it's the dip in the exact same quarter.
Right.
I don't know. I can't remember what was happening.
Whereas Facebook's unique channels in the same went up. But like I said, every chart showing Facebook is up overall, just climbing, which I mean, if there's people having fun over there in Facebook gaming land and doing well, props to them. I don't know.
That's just
I
like,
hope
Facebook is just where my family like chills.
And we've talked about this before on the podcast.
Yeah.
Facebook is just
that's just where you go to like if I need to get in contact with a family member for whatever reason, or listen to the rantings and ravings of old Uncle Thomas.
Yeah.
They're over there.
It's interesting to see these numbers though. I really like Streamlabs industry reports. I think they're done really, really well. I don't know. I like seeing the overall data because I'm a very, very small part of the data, but it's just interesting just to see like the billions and billions of hours. Like audiences watched over 7.46 billion hours of content.
It's a lot.
That's so many hours.
I mean, and I feel like I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it here, but I definitely said it before to people. Like Twitch has kind of just replaced just like regular television. Not when I like sit down to like watch Netflix, but like, when you just have like a sitcom on in the background, or a like Family Guy, Futurama, and you're sitting there doing work, or you're playing a game, or like it's something that you like leave on for the background noise. And that's like that's what I use Twitch for, and I feel like that's what a lot of people use Twitch for.
Oh yeah, that is 100% me nowadays. Like I have a physical TV, but I only have Chromecast with it, and very rarely do I actually sit on the couch and connect to my TV and watch that way. I'm usually always at my PC, or I'm in my room on my iPad. And like having a Twitch stream up as background noise is one of the best things. And plus I really enjoy lurking in my friends' streams and fellow Nookians. And so I'll typically have 4 people up at any given time, and then I'll have mute tabs, not streamers. I'll have whatever one I feel like having on as the background noise. Then I'll switch around between the 4 of them and bounce around. But yeah, if I'm working and want to focus, absolutely, I'll just I'll have it just on as background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of noise in Twitch streams, you guys heard about Soundtrack? Twitch.tv/soundtrack. It is the new beta program that Twitch is offering for streamers to use rights cleared music. There is a wait list for it, but I do know of some people that have been given access already. And actually, one of my friends, he has it on his stream now, and the interface is actually, as a viewer, is not too bad.
It straight up looks like Spotify.
It does a little bit, but the nice thing is like it's built right into the Twitch stream. So as a viewer, if I'm watching somebody that has this enabled and on their stream, like when I hover over the stream as if I was going to an extension, like the Twitch Sings extension or the Streamlabs extension, it actually hovers, like it shows the song title and track, and then I can, as a viewer, can click that. I haven't yet, so I actually don't know what happens when you do, but it shows up there. So as the songs are changing, as a viewer, I don't have to go in the chat and go, hey streamer, what song is this? It's there for me. So if Twitch is able to expand this and get recognizable artists and songs and stuff, I think that's actually going to be really cool.
I think it'd be really cool for like the music scene on Twitch to be able to get like music made by streamers for streamers type thing, Yeah. But and then talking to that friend who has it set up, apparently it was really easy to set up. And yeah, the whole intent of this is that it's meant just for the live stream. It's not going to be included in your clips or VODs, which I feel like that would kind of discourage me as a streamer from like dancing around to the song, right? Because if anyone's watching the VOD after the fact and I'm just sitting there dancing and they don't hear anything, then it makes me look a little bit strange. But honestly, I mean, I'm hoping that this is going to be a really good thing. I think it will be. I know that, Harris Heller with Stream Beats has kind of gone, because, I mean, granted, he's doing really well with that. But I think that the more options streamers have, though, for that kind of stuff, the better. So Twitch coming out with their own thing, cool. And then it's up to the streamer what they want to use. Do they want to use the one that's built in? Or do they want to use something like Stream Beats through Spotify and not have anything overlaid over their stream? I guess that's their choice, right? It's your choice what you want to use. But I mean, I think this one's nice just because it is like, it just lets you know that if you're using the music from this, like, there's no possible backlash at you.
Exactly. And this is a win for those streamers that really don't want to ever have to deal with the possibilities of that. Maybe like they just want to be able to, it's meant for streamers that don't put any kind of focus on their music in their stream, right? So people that don't have song requests or people that don't actually make the music any kind of focus in their stream, right? They just want some kind of background noise if they're playing a simulation game or doing art, right? Or something like that. But no, I think this is good. Honestly, from what I've seen so far, like I'm impressed with it from the viewer perspective. If I get access to it to actually implement, I definitely am going to try it out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you are a streamer that wants to join the waitlist, if you just go to twitch.tv/soundtrack, they have the waitlist linked in their panels that you can go in and sign up for.
Probably sign up for that.
You should. Oh, actually, there's a link in this article too, so we could post this article in the. Let me do that. I'll post it in the chat right now. Oh, Ella wants to be in the podcast today, guys.
She's feeling needy today.
Yes, that's okay. She's needy all the time. With that, guys, that covers news today. So we're going to move on to the out of context quote for the day. And let me throw this link into the chat. Guys, we have an out of context quote that goes as follows. Are you kidding me? Suck my penis. Who said this? We have Avi, Cardia, King, or Sal. Go vote. Everyone vote. All of them.
All of you. I mean, probably.
I feel like every quote we ever post, every single out of context quote that's ever been said could almost be said by everybody on the team.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like we're one brain.
Everydream says, I feel like King would have said dick and not penis. That's fair. That's fair.
I'd agree.
If we go to the results, can we refresh? Ooh, guys, look at all these votes coming in. No votes for Avi, no votes for King. We have Cardia with 3 and Sal with 5 so far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do, man. How can this not update as it comes in? Like that's got to be. I don't know. I guess I'm probably big dumb. It's probably a lot harder than I think it is, but it feels like it should be easy.
Yeah. All right, we got 10 votes in. Should we say who it was? Should we say who it was?
I think we can. Yeah.
All right. It was not Sal. This one, these words came out of the lovely mouth of Cardia. Cardia plays. So 3 of you can give yourself a pat on the back with that one.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. Good job to those 3. You win floofy internet points that are invisible.
They don't matter.
And don't exist. Made up and the points don't. How does that saying go? From whose side is it anyway? Welcome to the show where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
That's it.
That's us,
I used to love watching that show as a kid.
Me too. Such a good show. All right, with that, guys, it is time for us to introduce today's guests for the podcast. So we have the wonderful, the lovely, one of the founders of the Nook. We would not be here without her. itsTwiggie, aka just Twiggie. And then we have the wonderful Hekimae, aka Heki. Guys, I will pass it on to you to introduce yourself, explain who you are and a little bit about your stream if we have people in the chat that have no idea who you are, or anyone watching in the future that doesn't know who you are. We'll start with Twiggie.
Hello. Hi. I am Twiggie. A lot of you know me as, not as that, but as the founder of the Nook, along with Tugboat. Is the audio okay, Joe?
I'm adjusting. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. I have been streaming since April of 2018. And I got partnered in January of this year. So I have been partnered for less than a year, and it took all of 5 days until we started the Nook. We were very, very ready for that. Aside from that, I am a variety streamer. I stream all kinds of stuff. A lot of RimWorld, a lot of strategy games like that, a lot of simulation games, horror games, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Perfect. Thank you, Twiggie.
Very concise.
And yeah, that was great.
Did you practice
and
that one in the mirror?
Hi. Oh, that was my cue.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. I'm. Hey. Well, my name is Sofia, but everybody calls me Heki, so you can do that too. I am, as most people, also a variety streamer. Right now, I'm playing through my first playthrough of a Fallout game and my first playthrough of RimWorld. So I'm having fun with that. Occasionally doing some Minecraft for the big dig in the Nook's event. But right now, I'm having a little bit of a Halloween break with horror games because it's Halloween and apparently you have to play horror games then. So I thought, okay, let's do that. Sometimes I do cooking streams, sometimes I do karaoke, sometimes I do IRL or outdoor streams on the outernet, and sometimes I do VR streams. I have streamed since 2015 and I have been partnered since early 2018.
Nice. Heki, do you plan on doing another Twitch Sing stream before they get rid of it?
Definitely. I'm trying to squeeze them in as many as possible. Maybe once a month.
Everyone in chat, if you have not been to a Twitch Sings Heki stream, you are missing out. It is wonderful. You must attend. She is lovely. Peppy hands.
Peppy hands.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for introducing yourself and welcome to the NookCast. Thank you for being our first guest and thank you for agreeing to be here. With this whole partnership conversation, I think the best place to start is actually for the two of you to just talk about your personal experiences with obtaining Twitch partnership. Now, I know for Heki, Heki obtained Twitch partnership back in February 2018. Things have definitely changed since then, but I think it's still valuable for us to hear about your experience just so that we can also see how much Twitch has kind of adjusted and changed things over the years. So maybe because of that, Heki, I'll get you to explain your experience first, and then Twiggie, you can go after Heki. Yeah, tell us all about it.
Yes. So, well, to start from the start, I've been streaming since 2015, and it was just meant to be a side thing. I didn't really know much about Twitch. I just started for fun with no real goal. But I kept going for a while, and I think it was in 2017 they launched like achievements and the affiliate program and the whole path to partner thing, and it kind of was a good. You finally got like some concrete checklist of stuff that you needed to achieve in order to move forward with your stream. Before that, it was kind of no rules to anything. It was people like there was, I don't know if there was any hard rules, but it was like kind of the norm to apply when you had around 500 average viewers or something, and it was also limited slots. Not that many people could be partnered because there was every partner had a partner representative in the Twitch staff, so they could only get so many partners that they had stiff Twitch staff to cover. So up until that point, it was kind of like completely out of the question to even engage on some sort of journey to a partnership or anything. But during 2017, the affiliate program launched, and I saw I got affiliated, and it was nice to finally. I still didn't think I would, complete that journey, but it was cool that it was finally black on white. You could see more concrete what you could aim for if you want to progress. And so I think all the way throughout that year, 2017, I actually still averaged between 30 and 40 viewers all throughout that year. It was way below 50 all of that year. But then I thought, I was studying during this whole time. So I was in university, and by the time the year was over, I was kind of tired of studying. So I was like, oh, let's take a break and just try Twitch streaming while I kind of recharge and before I start my master program. So I kind of went in with it with a new attitude and excited to try little new things. And I started on January the 1st, 2018. And I just suddenly had a boost in the stream, and we got 63 average on the first day there. So from one stream to the other, I just suddenly went above 50, and then the whole following week I continued to be in the 60s, and I think 1 week later or so I started Dark Souls, and we started getting 100 viewers, and suddenly I had completed the path to partner, and I could apply. I had finished.
Dark Souls has that magic. I've seen it happen for a lot of streamers.
It's a good and a bad thing. Very much so.
With any popular fandom on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the journey to completing it, I guess, when I first completed.
And you were informed of your achievement of Path to Partner, or rather, when you applied and you got partner, you were informed in a pretty fun way. I've seen that moment.
Yeah, so I applied. I didn't think I would get through because obviously, like the 30-day stat window still featured like a bunch of old streams from late December, where I had an average of 30 or something. So I thought that Twitch would see that I had just a one-time boost suddenly, and that I thought nothing of it. I really didn't think I would get it. But I applied anyway because I had finished the Path to Partner, and if I had done that on Twitch, I thought, okay, I might as well click this button. So I did that, and about 2-3 days later, I got raided by Twitch staff saying that we had gotten partnered, and I thought that was a really nice way to kind of welcome somebody into the partnership. I don't know if they do that anymore, but I thought it was really nice of them.
I think they cherry pick now who they do it to because there's just too many people overall getting partnered all the time. It's definitely not as like it was back in 2018. But I think I recall seeing something on Twitter recently where staff did go into one streamer's stream recently to let them know that they had achieved partner. But I think
I've seen it happen for some people recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so sorry. She is an elephant in this room. Anyway, that's such an exciting way. It's nice when you apply and kind of just set that like, I don't think I'm going to get it, but hey, I might as well apply anyway. And then that ends up happening. And especially your experience where you actually got rated by the staff. That's so awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Heki. And let's move on to Twiggie. Twiggie, tell us your experience.
Yeah, my experience was a little bit more like a straight line towards it rather than something more exciting happening. Like Heki, I had like since I started streaming, I had like a very steady growth, and then I kind of plateaued a little bit on like 40 to 60 viewers. And that went on for a very long time, for many, many months. And I got a little bit demotivated because I could like, when you're that close, you can almost smell it. You can almost smell that path to partner, but not quite. So that was fall of 2019. And during that time, I had seen a lot of people get partnered that had way lower numbers than the 75. And I kind of had this feeling of, okay, if they can do it, then maybe it's just worth it for me to just send in an application. So I did that. I actually sent an application early November of 2019, and I was rejected 14 hours later. They didn't have to take long at all to decide that no, not a chance. And then in December 23rd, Inanda had actually organized a charity event that she invited me to. Inanda is also on our stream team if you want to check her out. She's lovely. And I participated in that. And to like build hype for that charity event, I decided to play something that my community had wanted me to play for a very, very long time. Dark Souls. So
there's that name again.
There it is. Yeah. So I played Dark Souls 3, and I believe one of my goals during that charity stream was that I would play it for a second time, and then I ended up playing the whole game. So I hit Path to Partner. My first time streaming Dark Souls 3 was December 23rd, and I hit Path to Partner on midnight of December 31st. So that took very, very didn't take long at all after I started playing Dark Souls. And then I was accepted on January 15th. In terms of like stats, I had when I applied, I had 82 average viewers, including hosts and raids, because obviously the Path to Partner doesn't count that. You have to be at 75 without hosts and raids. And then when I was accepted 15 days later, I was at 105 average viewers. So that took, 1 year and 9 months after I started streaming. But yeah, it was more or less like a steady curve upwards until I started playing Dark Souls, and then just boop, and then it sort of flat out again.
So really the key to becoming a partner is just play Dark Souls.
Just play Dark Souls.
Yes. That's only what we're learning here.
Yeah, only Dark Souls forever.
I hope everyone's taking notes.
This is our secret.
All right. And Twiggie, you were informed of the achievement by email?
Yeah, by email. I woke up every single day for those 15 days. I woke up at 8 a.m. in a sweat with my heart rate super high, checked my email, and then it was that morning disappointment after I checked my email and saw nothing for 15 days.
Until the day.
Well, I mean, that had to make the time you got it. Did your head explode?
Let's just say I am very glad that it didn't happen while I was live, because I broke down basically.
Aww. That's awesome.
I'm very glad that I was alone in the house.
That's so good.
But I think also it builds up after a while if you wait that long. Like for me, it only took 2-3 days and I didn't even expect it. So I was just casually streaming and suddenly there was an explosion of Twitch staff in the chat telling me to check the dashboard. So it was, I think if you're taken off guard when you don't expect anything, then it's I mean, it's still overwhelming, but I don't have to go and have that stress and anxiety waiting for it and see what the judgment is going to be, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that your expectations going into it definitely matter a lot. I had sort of, since I got rejected after 15 hours the first time, I sort of built up an expectation that it would take only like 1 or 2 days, and then it didn't. And that's when I started thinking, hey, maybe it is a positive answer, since we're actually taking time, like trying to decide.
Yeah.
Right. Hecky, you still have you've got that highlighted on Twitch, right? The moment that happened with the staff raid.
I thought I wanted to save it.
Yeah, no, that's a great moment to save. Like, and it's awesome to watch that too, as someone that isn't partnered, like just seeing your sheer shock and joy in that moment. And I'm actually impressed that the chat stayed for that highlight, you know, just considering how long ago it was.
Yeah, back in those days, I think it was quite new feature too, that when you highlighted things, chats were saved. Previously, they didn't get saved. So it's nice that was included so you could see the entire thing happen.
Yes. Perfect. Well, thank you both for sharing your personal experiences with this. Obviously, throughout this whole podcast, I mean, your personal experiences are obviously going to influence your discussion and the answers to the questions that we have, but we're going to move on to kind of a general topic now about you know, that moment where affiliates are close to the path to partner, so kind of in that like 50 to 70 viewer range. You know, you've gotten over that 30 to 40 hump, which for a lot of people people can stay there for a while. That 30 to 40 range is a big one. So, you know, you're over that and you're comfortably now in that 50 to 70. And now you're looking to get to that next step, which is Twitch partnership, that path to partner. So for the two of you, like, what are some steps that you think that streamers can take to help get themselves out of the 50 to 70 average viewership range? And don't say stream Dark Souls.
Well, I got nothing. That was my answer.
Yeah, I mean, that is the answer.
Yeah, I don't think I don't have any experience of it, since I went straight from like 32 to 63 from one stream to the other. So I don't know if there is anything in particular, but I think I got lucky with maybe a combination of things. Like, I chose a game. It wasn't even, I didn't start with Dark Souls. The boost started when I started playing Getting Over It. But I guess it's kind of the same thing. People watched you struggle in a game and try to get through it without getting too angry. And so apparently that's a good strategy. The game was also pretty new, I think, when I played it. So I guess it was a combination of it. Like, the game directory for that was relatively active. Yeah, it's quite active, but it still wasn't like flooded. So I was at the bottom. But I also had like kind of built up to this whole thing. I said, oh guys, we're gonna start full time just to have fun a little bit when we start 2018. So maybe it like built up a little bit because of that. I don't know.
So have you done, like, you were going to do a schedule change?
Yeah, exactly. I was saying I'm going to stream more consistently, because December there before 2018, the very last part of 2017, I wasn't very consistent with anything. So I set a new schedule, and I said that I was going to commit and being like more, streaming more on a steady basis, I guess. And I think all of it just kind of came together nicely. And then sort of the nail in the coffin, or whatever it's called, was to play Dark Souls, which, like, when you're already kind of a little bit on the rise, a directory like that can be a good thing, but also it's very dangerous, because once you stop playing that, you're gonna lose a lot. That happened to me, for example. I once I was done with like my first Dark Souls experiences, I lost a lot of people because of that.
Yeah.
So it's a dangerous thing. It might be like something that is like, oh, it looks like that's an easy way to get partnership or grow a lot of growth, but it's a very dangerous thing. I think it's better to focus on.
I think the scheduling probably was likely a big thing, at least from what you're detailing, because people like having a routine, and once you establish yourself as part of that routine, it allows, I don't know, it seems a lot easier to try and maintain concurrent viewership that way.
Yeah,
especially if
for
like
sure.
all of a sudden now like you've decided that you're gonna do this streaming full time, you create a schedule, stick to the schedule.
Yeah,
seems really important.
That kind of actually transitions into, like, you know, we've kind of got 3 questions for you guys for this section. We asked one of them, but the 2 other questions we have, we're kind of like already kind of leaning into that conversation anyway. So, you know, what might seem like good things to do to get partner, but aren't actually good in the long run for your channel. And then same thing on, you know, we were going to talk about, and we should just talk about it now, like, you know, your thoughts on sticking with one thing that you know works for you and risking burnout versus branching out from the beginning and doing more stuff to create that like foundation as a variety or a personality streamer. So, you know, mentioning Dark Souls, like, that was the game that you two both played when you achieved your partnership, but you weren't Dark Souls streamers. It was just one of the games that you happened to be playing, and all of a sudden your viewership skyrocketed enough to get you to partner. Did you both experience like an initial drop in viewership when you switched the game off? Like Hekimae mentioned, you
fully expected to. I was 100% like prepared to drop like 50% of my viewership when I switched out. And right after I finished Dark Souls, I started playing Final Fantasy X, which is one of my favorite games of all time. But I was scared of streaming it because I didn't know what the audience would be like. So I kind of made this promise that if I got partnered, we would stream Final Fantasy X. So that was like my immediate game after Dark Souls. And those are 2 very, very different games. So I was fully prepared to lose most of my audience, and I didn't. I never had like that big drop off. I kind of stayed on a very steady. Of course, I dropped off a little bit after I stopped completely with Dark Souls, but I kind of never had a big drop off afterwards. And I don't know that I can really explain why.
Because you're lovely and you're amazing and your stream is great and you are very entertaining.
But that's the case for a lot of Dark Souls streamers. I know people who objectively are fantastic streamers, but they're stuck in Dark Souls. They're stuck in Soulsborne because whatever they do outside of Soulsborne, they just don't get viewers, and I don't understand why. So I think that it's sometimes it can be random.
Yeah,
you can
very
just happen to get. Yeah, it is. It's very, very fickle. And I think that sometimes you can just get lucky and get those people who prefer to watch Dark Souls, but who will join you for other things. And sometimes you'll get those people who are there for that one game only. So when you stop playing that, they move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But that's also the case with every directory. And that is one of the dangers of variety streaming in general. It's like, there are pros and cons to it, obviously. And I could talk about this for hours and hours. So...
So you're afraid to say even a little about it.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that we could transition to, like kind of just on the topic of, you know, doing things to help yourself get to partner. We've all seen people, I'm just going to speak very generally. You know, there's people out there that have done what we kind of call that partner push to partner. You know, they'll put it in their stream title, they'll have a goal for it in the stream overlay, they'll tweet about it, like, you know, that becomes the focus of their stream. And I think I already know kind of what you guys feel about that in general, and I think kind of we're all on the same page, but let's just talk about that.
Yeah. The notorious partner push. It's very easy to kind of get into it. Like it's easy to fall into the not trap, but like it's easy for it when you are so close to becoming partnered. It's easy for it to become a thing, not only for you but also everybody watching. It's like, oh, everybody gets hyped, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna tell all my friends, and everybody kind of works together to try to achieve it and finish that path to partner. And it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous because it's like, once the hype is over, like no matter, I've seen this happen so many times throughout all of the years I've been on Twitch. Every time that it's once you hit the achievement, no matter if you get accepted or if you get denied, that whole thing, the hype kind of drops down so hard because it's kind of over. People don't feel like maybe their view matters as much, and people might not be as like trying to spread the word about the stream as much, because we already hit the path, we finished the path, and no matter if it's like achieved, if you get accepted or not, it's like it's over, and people maybe don't rate as much, and it's just I don't know, it's just I think it's much better to just try to focus on growing organically.
I think that it's okay to do kind of a last minute push. So like if someone is at 73 out of 75, like,
yes,
I think understandably people get really excited in that moment. Like, I think there's a big difference between, the community rallying together, like, so not the streamer like putting anything on Twitter or like in their overlay or in their stream title, right? Where it's the community saying, hey guys, this amazing streamer I watch is so close to path to partner, like, come help out, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between that when it's like very last minute versus when someone's at like 65 and now they're doing the path to partner push and being like, hey guys, we're 10 away, like, because then that can almost last for like a month or more or longer, or like, like a decent time, where it's just this constant, like, let's get partner, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with the last minute one.
But yeah, I mean, we've done that with people in the Nook as well. If we know that someone is close to hitting that achievement, then we post it in the Nook Discord and we go, hey, if anyone has an extra tab open, just can you please help out, because they're so close. But you already have the base audience in that case. You already have those people who are pretty much a big enough base to help you get partnered. It's just those 1 or 2 extra views.
Yeah.
And those are fine. Those are perfectly fine. But rallying up a bunch of people to do something extra is really hard. And if you manage to rally up, say 30 people who come to every single stream because they want to help you get that path to partner, and then you hit it, and then it's like, okay, my job here is done.
Yeah.
Because they're not your base audience. They won't hang out every single stream. So they're not, of course they're real viewers, but they're not a part of that base.
I feel like it sets up a sense of finality to your stream.
Very, very much.
Where it's not like, it's like a get to this point and then, hey, we did it. And then, like I said jokingly at the start of this podcast, we're done streaming now.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to see that there's a continuation when you've put so much focus on that one goal. It's very hard to see that that's not the end goal. It continues after that.
Yeah. Like, it's not that you become partner and all of a sudden you don't have to put in any hard work anymore. And
exactly.
And we'll definitely get to that, because I feel like once you've achieved partner, I feel like that's going to take up a good bulk of the podcast today. Is talking about that and just kind of shining some insight on actually like that post partner feeling and experience, and kind of like, how to keep excitement and motivation going for things. But that was awesome. Thank you guys for your insight on the path to partner achievement. So you don't do the partner push. Variety streamer, you've built up your solid base audience, you've got a great Discord, you're got a great community, and oh my gosh, you've achieved path to partner, you've got the application process unlocked, and you're ready to apply. What do you think are must-haves in that application?
One of the things that I would say is probably the most important is explain why your channel is a safe investment for Twitch. Because if you get partnered, they don't really remove the partnership unless you get banned or you violate TOS or something like that. Like, it's not like they will say, hey, okay, you drop down below a certain viewership, okay, partnership done. You're partnered, and that's like a long-term thing. So they need to know that partnering you is a safe investment now, but also in 2 years. So I put a lot of focus in my application. I really put focus on, this is what I have right now, and I expect this to last. This is not a short-time thing for me. This is not I have these viewers now, but then in a month I'll do something completely different. Really show like how much work you're putting into your channel, what you're doing to maintain it, and why Twitch should really like use you. Because ultimately, if you're a partner, then Twitch is using you to like highlight their platform. And they need to know that they can safely do that long term and not just right now. So that's one of the things that I see a lot of people not really talk about, but that's one of the main things that I highlighted in my application and that I would recommend other people do as well.
Well, it's kind of like applying for a job, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
Like in your cover letter, you know, you obviously want to state like, this is why I'm great, but this is why I am an asset to your team. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is why you need to hire me, basically.
Exactly. And ultimately, a partner application is like a job application, and it should be treated as such.
Yeah.
You want them to want you.
Yes.
I want you to want me.
I think there's also something that I think is important is to, at least if you are from a country that isn't the US, I think that's something that you should definitely put in the application, because I feel like the US have been a majority of, like, the US viewers have been the majority of the website's users, both streamers and viewers, I guess, for since the launch of the website. And but it feels like Twitch obviously is starting to branch out now, with TwitchCon EU starting to happen in Europe, and they're starting to include more. There have been some smaller partner events for people within European countries in particular. I think there was some meetup in Australia too. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if that was Twitch's own event. But either way, it feels like they're branching out a little bit. And if you can, I just think emphasizing that you might be from another country than the US can be beneficial, because it seems like they want to capture more people from a broader.
Well, and they should, like, ultimately, you know, streaming is a very global thing, and you know, we can see that by all the different language tags on Twitch, and you know, it makes sense for them that they would want to diversify. So, I mean, even though they might not want to admit it, it is going to be easier to get partner if you are not in the US.
Yeah, I wrote my application in Norwegian for that exact reason. They don't want to admit it, but yes, they can't really say that the requirements are lower in other countries, but you will have an easier time getting partnered in Scandinavia, or in Southeast Asia has quite low requirements as well than in the US, and that's just because of the competition. They want global partners, and they have a lot of American partners.
Yeah. So really, like, if you are in the US, I would honestly probably end up looping Canada into that too. I'm sure that, you know, they don't treat Canada really any differently than the US, but you know, that just makes it so that, you know, when you're applying, like, if you're in the US, you really have to have a solid, like, application and solid stream, and then kind of just keep in the back of your mind that, you know, I don't know if location is going to be the reason for a decline, like the sole reason, but
yeah,
it's just ultimately harder as an American.
Yeah, I think so too. So but in general, like, focus on things. If you are not from another country, if you are from America, I still feel like as long as you focus on things that make you unique, and what you can bring to the table that viewers cannot get anywhere else, so they're gonna go to you and stuff. I think that's stuff that Twitch is looking for.
Yeah, you got to carve a niche.
Exactly. Yeah. And even though, like, outside of Path to Partner, you know, they don't have a set list of things they look for, but what other kinds of things do you think that they value when you're applying?
I think that one of the things that they do value is how marketable you are. And there's been examples of people who have averaged thousands of viewers and still not been accepted into the partner program because they have been what is quoted as a brand risk. They constantly are on the edge of TOS, and they're just not as easily marketable. Now, that probably won't be the only reason why they're not getting partnered, but it's definitely a relevant thing, because partners get more visibility. They get more visibility on the platform. They have a chance of getting on the front page. They represent Twitch when they're out on conventions or whatever. So being a marketable, in quotes, streamer is going to be a little bit more helpful. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be family friendly, because that's not the case at all. But if you're constantly like edging on the limits of TOS or in any other ways represent a risk for someone to want to be represented with you, then that's not going to help you out. Because ultimately, like partners they're sort of advertisement for Twitch. And I think that that's something to keep in mind, at least. In terms of like what kind of content you need, I don't think that there's anything specific that they look for. I think that they definitely look at what directories you stream in. I know that if you stream in a directory that the highest ever viewership in that directory is 30 viewers, then you won't need 200 to get accepted, because that's probably not realistic at all in that one directory.
So what you mean is, if you're getting that 75 consistent, and like say you're 80, whatever, and you primarily stream in a category that, outside of you streaming, it sees like average 30, 40, then they'll go, oh, wow, okay, this person is a really good streamer.
That means that you provide value. You provide a higher value than other people. And yeah, that really shows that you are someone to go for, basically.
Okay, cool. Is there are we able to see average viewership for a directory anywhere, like publicly?
It is on Sellinome.
Sellinome? Okay.
Sellinome has that active.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's actually... I might start looking at some of the games that I stream in just to see, because I've never actually looked at that.
It shows a lot of stats. It shows how many people usually stream it. It shows how many total viewers. It shows viewership divided by channels. A lot of really valuable stats.
Cool.
I think it's super interesting to check at stats and see if you can find you can. There's so much to do with stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously you don't want to stream in a category that's like super dead where you can't get in any new viewers, but you also don't want to be in an incredibly saturated category either.
Yeah,
it's actually really difficult to choose games.
It is.
Yes. If you're going to be a little bit strategic about it, it's really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Do you guys have any other, before we move on, is there any other insight you want to provide into what Twitch looks for at all? And is there anything we missed, maybe?
I guess a good one. Yeah, Heki?
No, you can go first.
Okay, so you guys probably know that a lot of people get rejected on their first application. That's sort of just become this thing that, your first application, you will be rejected. And a lot of people don't really understand why, but there are two main reasons for that. The first thing is that a lot of people apply immediately after hitting Path to Partner. Understandably, I did the same. I don't know a lot of people who waited. But if you apply directly after hitting Path to Partner, then you probably haven't hold those numbers for very long. And they obviously want to see that you can maintain 75 viewers for a little bit more than 30 days. So if you want a higher chance of being accepted your first time around, wait a couple of weeks, maintain those numbers, show that it's not just like a one-time peak, but that it's your sort of new average. That's one reason. And the second reason is that a lot of people that I've seen stop streaming when they get rejected for partnership, because they get so demotivated and they sort of feel like, oh, I didn't make it. Okay, then this is not for me. I'm just going to stop. And if you stop streaming because of something like that, then you're probably going to stop at some point anyway. So if you get rejected, don't give up. Try again. Maintain your viewership. Do something to grow your audience even bigger, and you will have a much higher chance your next time around.
Yeah, that blows my mind. If you have 75 people, if you hit the Path to Partner, I mean, I feel like partner is not the end all be all. I feel like people make it out to be, but you could just keep going. Honestly, I feel like partner's giving you a check mark and I guess a sense of validity. But other than that, I feel like it's not doing
some extra emote slots
much for you, in terms of what you provide. Oh, and all the transcoding, that is a pretty big one.
Honestly, I would love partners simply just for the guaranteed transcoding and the extra emote slots. I always feel bad when someone in chat goes, "Oh, you don't have transcoding today. I'm not going to be able to watch." And
it's a terrible feeling.
I wish there was something I could do. Yeah. So honestly, like just for that guaranteed transcoding, like I would love that.
I increased my bitrate immediately just because I could. I could finally stream at a higher bitrate because I had limited myself to 3,500 and I turned it up to 6,000 immediately.
Twiggie was like, yes, I wanted, I finally have. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks for shedding some insight on that. I know I definitely learned something from that little bit of conversation there, and I'm sure that people in the chat can echo the same. All right, let's transition into that whole once you are a partner, once partnership is obtained. There are a lot of things that we could talk about with this. But I kind of wanted to just start off by asking the both of you, like, what are the benefits and perks for partnership for you? When you first were a partner, and then even today, like, you know, Twiggie, you're coming up on a year, Heki, you're coming up on 2. I could do math.
2.5.
Yeah. What are the benefits and perks to you guys?
Well, like the first things obviously it's nice that like you talked about the guaranteed transcoding and like just ways to reward kind of viewers and people, I mean people who support by subscribing, the fact that you can give them more emotes and custom cheer modes and I'm very happy that VODs stay up for 2 months instead of 2 weeks also, because I'm terrible at remembering to highlight stuff. So if they disappeared after 2 weeks, I would have lost so many cool moments. So I'm happy that they stay up for a longer time as well. But I think my main thing was kind of personal. When I, like, achieving partner feels like you get another... It's like you get some sort of security in the whole stat fluctuation stress. Like, if you're, sorry about that, if you're well on your way to partner and suddenly you have like one bad stream, it can ruin the entire 30-day stat, and you have to wait like an entire month for that stat, that one stream, to stop affecting your progress in the path to partner. But as a partner, it's like if you have a bad stream, it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't very good, but that's it. And then you can come again next stream, and it's not really, you're not punished as bad for it, I feel like. So I think that added a lot of like, phew, when I got partnered. And I suddenly remember, I suddenly could stop looking at my view count, and that was a big thing because I was so focused on the stats that the last like week, when I was like, ooh, this is almost happening, even though it was so sudden, I was still very much looking at the stats and being like, oh, but oh no, it goes down now, and oh, it went up. You know, looking at the view count while you're live, it adds a lot of stress, and being able to just cover that up and not even look at my stream summaries after several weeks of streaming, I felt like that was a huge relief, because you could just focus on having fun in a different way than I could before. I feel like it was more about having a good time rather than like trying to do what the stats and what the achievement and the progress bar wanted me to do. If you know what I mean.
Because once path to partner is achieved, I mean, Twitch doesn't have any more path to anything after that point. So you've got path to affiliates done, path to partner done. That relief definitely would be welcome, like a welcome feeling and experience. And kind of just to go back to emotes, Heki, I remember you telling me once that back when you were an affiliate, you only had one emote slot. So partner opened up like so much for you just from that perspective too.
Definitely. There was a lot of things that were not, there was only one emote slot for affiliates back then. And so it was like a huge thing to go from one emote to suddenly a bunch of them. It was really much. I feel like it's better. Like the affiliate program is better now. You have more perks of it in it, and it's great. Like it's awesome to be able to take part in some of this, because before, I mean, prior to the launch of the affiliate program in 2017, I streamed and there was no way you couldn't share bits, you couldn't subscribe. It was just a channel, you know, and I don't want to go into that topic, I guess, but just affiliate program.
No, actually, no, because that just made me think of a question. So, you know, you streamed at a time where there wasn't any of that stuff. Like, did you ever, like, I guess, like, what was your chat engagement like? Like, was there anything that you did, not necessarily monetarily, but, you know, like, did you have a Discord? Did Discord exist back then? I don't know how long Discord's been out.
Yeah, well, that came a little bit after that. I know when I started, TeamSpeak was quite big as well. People were using TeamSpeak, but it wasn't really a way to have a community and foster it in the way that Discord now allows you to. So that's great.
Right.
It's a lot of great things that has come throughout the years. But no, there weren't really good ways of monetization for streams. I know they like people have donation button or tip buttons or whatever with PayPal.
Right.
But when I started I started streaming because I wanted to have some friends to queue up with in Counter-Strike that weren't screaming angry words at me. So that's why I started streaming in the first place, and I had no intentions of ever like earning any money or anything off of it. So I didn't have any donation buttons or anything. I just streamed just to meet some new people that I could play Counter-Strike with. And
so you started streaming at like a really what did that, because I don't know, I feel like people like nowadays start streaming and you have that little bit of period where, you know, you're not an affiliate, so there's no subscribing, there's no bits kind of thing, no emotes, but I feel like, you know, in general, like affiliate is a fairly quickly achieved goal, you know. But I mean, man, I kind of wish that I would have had that experience on Twitch streaming when there was no affiliate program, where you're literally just on there to have fun. There is no, I'm going to start streaming and maybe I'll make some money from it, or start streaming to make money from it. You know, like when you take away that whole thing, like, oh man, that would have been so fun, I feel.
It's very interesting to have experienced it all. Like, as I said, back then before the affiliate program, there was the partnership program, but the average people used to apply when they had like 500 viewers. So there was nothing before that. You just streamed for the fun of it. And
Twitch introducing affiliate program is probably the best thing they've ever done. Like,
without a doubt,
for their business and just revenue and everything. Like, especially
and
with the 50-50 model.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, for sure. Twiggie, what about you?
So under the question, what are the benefits and perks of being a partner to you? What I wrote was in capital letters and bold, relief, which is what Hekimae was talking about.
Yeah.
That relief of not having to worry about the numbers anymore. Of course, I still like keep track of my stats and all of that, but I don't obsess over them. And I used to obsess over them a lot. And now it's like I check them every now and then, but it's like, okay, that's my stats, that's fine. And I was so worried about the stats during that whole Path to Partner thing. That 1 year and 9 months that took was so stressful. So it was mostly like the sense of relief and the obvious things: emote slots, guaranteed transcoding, better partner support is really nice. And the fact that we could create a stream team, because stats also locked behind partners.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So the Nook wouldn't have been a thing if not. So those are like the main obvious perks. What I noticed very quickly after getting partnered is that you get a very immediate sense of respect from other content creators, and especially other partners. You get noticed very, very fast. I've gotten to that point where sometimes if I'm just checking out new streamers, I just turn my badge off because people they react very weirdly to it. Either they will just give you a lot of attention and shout you out. I've been shouted out in channels I've never been to before because they see that badge and then they go, oh, here's a streamer, I'll shout you out.
Oh my gosh.
And you don't always want that attention.
No.
But in terms of like collaborations and like just networking, finding people to play games with and stuff like that, having the partner badge helps. It really does. Because people just they treat you with a little bit more respect, which is weird.
I just imagine in my head like all the Twitch partners, just y'all like just tip your hats at each other constantly.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, there's a purple check mark. What's up?
No, but I get it though, because I remember like when I started out streaming, I would get nervous if I saw that partner badge in my chat, because I was thinking, oh, here's someone who knows what they're doing because they've done that. So they are probably judging me more.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
Is it that way now? Do you judge everybody with
all
like
the time?
magnifying
But I've always done
glass?
that. I do that regardless.
I didn't need this badge.
Yeah, and speaking from the affiliate perspective, like, you know, it's fun getting rated by a partner too. Like, even if it's a friend of yours and someone that you would call a friend regardless of the partner badge, like, it's still a good feeling to be like noticed, you know, by a partner. I
mean, I still feel the same as well. So
right. Yeah. Cool. All right. For the two of you, once partnership was obtained, did you find there were any, like, I know you guys mentioned relief, but did you find that there were actually like new struggles that you started experiencing that you weren't exactly prepared for or anticipating at all?
Yep.
God, yes.
Yep. Because suddenly you have this whole new title to live up to. Like, even though you're relieved that you don't have to obsess about your stats as much anymore, it still starts, like, you still start, you get very self-conscious about your stats. Like, if you don't hit the requirement, if you have a really bad dip at some point, because the streaming always goes up and down for everybody streaming, even if you have a cheap partnership, it still goes up and down. And if you have streams or a dip where you don't hit the mark for that would be required for a partnership, then you start feeling really undeserving of that.
Oh,
and
it's the imposter syndrome sets
yeah. And every time it has happened to me throughout the years, I've been like, dang, there are so many other great streamers that deserve this badge so much more than me, and here I am not even living up to the requirements that I need to in order to get the badge. So, and I know that I got partnered back when it was much easier. Like Twiggie said earlier, that you gotta think about not having a one-time boost and like maintaining the numbers. But for me, I had a one-time boost, and I got partnered on that boost. So I really feel like if it was today, I probably wouldn't have been partnered, or at least not for a while, not in the same way, if you know what I mean. So I have really struggled with feeling like I don't deserve being a partner.
Nonsense.
You deserve.
We all know that that's not true.
Exactly.
I'm not fishing for compliments or validation, by the way. I just wanted to say, like, even as a partner, you can start being like, oh no, you don't feel superior in any way. You just start feeling, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I definitely feel like, gosh, I have a title I gotta live up to now. And if
make sure you stay fitting in your big boy pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Like, I still, every single stream, if I hit 75 viewers, I actually feel relieved, because I feel like that's my minimum that I should achieve every time, because otherwise I don't feel like I've earned it. So it's this weird feeling of both being relieved and not worrying so much about your stats, but worrying about them in a different way, from a like how other people see you.
Rather than growing, it's more about maintaining. At that point, then.
Exactly.
And maintaining can honestly be the hardest part of Twitch.
Yeah.
If you maintain one base audience number, if you maintain that, that's growth. In this industry, maintaining is growth. And I think that people don't realize that.
People want to go up and up and up every single month.
And realistically, it won't. Yeah. So if you are stuck on like one viewership number, don't fret too much about it. You are still growing. Twitch is so fickle, and there are so many factors, and there are literally millions. We talked about that earlier. Millions of streamers every single month.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, this business.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Because it's easy to feel like, oh no, I'm not getting anywhere if you feel like you're stuck somewhere. But in reality, there is like so many factors that plays in, and people get bored quite easily, and they come and go, and you always kind of lose people watching you. But if you're maintaining a number, then that means that even though you're losing people, you're also gaining people, and you might not realize or notice because the number is stuck.
And a core viewership is important, because I know for me, like if I go into a new stream and there's like VIP badges in chat and people using commands and people spamming the streamer's emotes, like that community feel, like that makes me want to hang out and stay. And like I've done that for people, and I continue to do that for people, and like core viewership base is super, super important as a part of growing and getting new viewers. Having that core base. So any other struggles outside of that?
I would like to point out that a lot of people have this assumption that if you get partnered, you will be able to be a full-time streamer. This is not the case. There's very few partners on the platform, and even fewer of those are able to do this as a full-time thing. Those partners that you see that do this as a full-time thing, there's a couple of different things going on here. Either they likely live very, very cheap. They have a lot of savings that they use to supplement their income, or they have a small handful of very, very generous people that provide a lot of money, or they have another job or another income. Very few streamers are able to do this as a full-time thing, and ultimately, if you go from being an affiliate to being a partner, your income won't change. There's no change there now. So partnership does not offer you automatically the ability to do this as a job. And I think that a lot of people think that. They think, okay, if I just get to partner, I'll quit my job and I'll do this as a full-time thing. And that can be a little bit dangerous because you're not guaranteed that.
Yeah, it's not like Twitch hands you a steady paycheck in addition to your streaming income from subscriptions and bits, right? Like that, there's nothing additional there. So whatever your community was spending before, they're going to keep spending. But that could honestly be converted. And, I have the question in here that we could really transition into that now if you want. But like, I have the question here to ask you both, like, how can you utilize the Twitch partnership to help you financially? So example would be like partnership or sponsorship opportunities.
I feel like it's got to be easier to get sponsorships with the check mark.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not only the check mark, I guess, but having achieved the status of being a Twitch partner, you probably also have reached the numbers that are required, at least if you do it nowadays. And those numbers are usually what a lot of companies and such draw the line where they want when they look for people to collaborate with. A lot of the times it is around that. So I think, I guess partnership and that growth might, if you just hit partnership, you just got those numbers, I think it goes a little bit hand in hand maybe, but also there are other things. I don't know how to attack this. Twiggie, you have something good there?
Well, I would say that companies definitely will pay more attention to if you lead with "I'm a Twitch partner," because of the things that we talked about before. It gives you that recognition. It means that you have achieved something, and it means that that Twitch sees you as an investment, so they can see you as an investment too. I've done a few sponsorships, not a whole lot. I think I've done like 6 or something, and 5 of those have been through a website called WeHype, wehype.it. They are currently in early access, and they only accept partners. So if you are a partner, you have sort of an entry point to them, and they work kind of like a manager situation where they talk to companies and offer you a sponsorship, and then you have a rate that is like discussed between those two, and then you just deliver the content. And I have been very impressed with those. I have nothing but good things to say about them. If you are a Twitch partner or you are going to be one, I highly recommend signing up for them if you're interested in sponsorships. But yeah, like sending an email to a company, a PR company or marketing, and saying that, hey, I'm a Twitch partner and I would like to cover your game or your product or whatever, they will pay more attention to you than if you don't. However, you also need to have the numbers. If you are a partner with 10 average viewers, you won't automatically get that sponsorship.
Yeah,
No,
makes sense.
it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, like Heki said.
But I think that's still, it's so important that, you know, like, not only for, I guess, not only for partners, but in general, like if you want to stream for a living, there's only so much that people can get from viewers. There's like you can't go get by there's only so much bits or so much subs that you can get. So and it's not really a way of earning a living either. You're completely dependent on what people decide to give to you that month. So looking into sponsorships like this is super vital, I would say, or super important if you want to look. And it's really hard. Like I'm struggling. You have done. I'm looking up to you, TWiggie, for being like such. You've done sponsored streams with games and stuff recently that I've been like, wow, this is super cool. So I'm not speaking as somebody with a lot of experience in this, but I know the importance of it because I lack it. So. There is a lot of that. I know also as a partner, you can get access to this is limited to countries, but
yeah, Twitch bounties.
Bounty board, yeah.
They're limited to, I think it's North America, Canada, and then I think it's the UK, Germany, and France.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like 3 countries in the EU, and everyone else just don't get access to them.
What is the bounty board?
Yeah, if you don't know what it is, it's like it's integrated in Twitch. I think it's in the dashboard or in the settings or somewhere you can find it. Basically, it's like they say, here is a game, or they list a bunch of games, and if you stream it to a certain amount of viewers, you can get, say, $100 if you stream it for a certain amount of time to a certain amount of viewers, and then you can get paid payout on Twitch by doing so. But this is only available in a limited amount of countries, and I think it's only to partners. I think if you are a partner and you are from the US or UK, Canada, Germany, France, you can apply. Like if you don't have it in your settings, you can apply and to be on a waiting list. At least that's what it says on the Twitch page for Bounty Board.
I think that technically it's still early access, so that's why. So they don't just automatically give you access to it.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of complaints about how much it actually pays out in terms of they will take your average. The way it's supposed to work is that they take your average over the last 30 days and then they give you an offer like hit this average number and then you'll get 100% of the payout, hit 70% of that and then you'll get 70% of that payout. But what they do is that if you get a giant raid, say that you get raided with 500 people, then they will use that as the base point to calculate your payment. So
but they won't put that in with your, like when you go to apply for partnership, none of those count. That's
no, right. So it's not a perfect service. Obviously I wouldn't know because I don't have access to it. I wish I did, because even if it's poor payment, it's still something.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And if it's a game that you plan to play anyway, then and you can earn a little bit extra from it. Yeah.
Some of them have been things like just watch this trailer on stream and discuss it with the community for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
And then they play an ad in the middle of it. Never mind.
Yeah, it's so important to diversify off of Twitch, and like even though I'm nowhere near partner, it's something that I'm thinking of, and it's in the back of my mind. Not necessarily not just to other content platforms like YouTube or whatever, but just expanding sources or streams of revenue. So even things like merch, like yes, your community is still purchasing that, but it's a different a different revenue source, different revenue stream. It's tough though, but yeah, like I think out of everything we've been talking about now, that's the thing we really just want to drive to people is partnership is not a magic income achievement on Twitch.
No, I can say I earn less than my brother, and he works with not a very special job. So
Yeah.
it's not it's kind of glorified, the partnership. So I just want
to. And also too, like we've talked about this like personally outside of the NookCast, but you know, you've mentioned that, and I think I can actually speak to this too as an affiliate, but it's like some of our highest earning months are one of the lowest viewership months.
Yeah, consistently.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is crazy how that works.
And that also just goes to show that you cannot rely on your viewership to pay you your income.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know people as well that have so many more times the viewers than I do, and I have gotten more out of the Twitch stream than they have, because I don't know, that frustrates me a lot also. People kind of undercut themselves a lot of the time, and I don't make use of the situation. So I think that's why it's so important to look into additional ways of monetization.
Right. And then also too, like you know, I've experienced this personally, like, you know, you grow and you get to a point, and then, you know, there's some viewers that don't want to see streamers get a bunch of money. Like it's a weird thing, but you know, not everyone is entertained by bit alerts and dono alerts and sub alerts going off all the time, right? And having it be this consistent thing all the time. So, you know, like hype trains are great, but some people don't, like, they're not fans of them. And I do know of some streamers that will turn them off sometimes so that they don't go off at all. And yeah, so like, you know, as a partner, especially, like, you know, sometimes achieving that partner goal, you might see that decrease in income because now some viewers are like, okay, well, you've made it, so yeah. I'm not gonna.
Viewers have the exact same thought process as the streamer, oftentimes, where I've seen it happen to quite a few people over the years, of where you kind of you hit partner, and it is that thing of where, like, even your viewers think it's like, oh, well, you're good now. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go support this other person that is an affiliate that probably needs it more, and
then it does, like, that, whatever. I don't know. It feels like a lot of partners end up, or people pushing to partner, like they use it as a, I don't know. It's like a prop up almost. And then and then it eventually, like, you know, once they, you know, kind of pull that prop away from you, like, everything kind of crumbles away if you let it crumble away.
Right.
Depends on what your expectations are, and then also how you, I don't know, I guess also how you portray it to your community as well.
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, most affiliates and partners, like, I'm sure that there's some affiliates out there that are able to do it full time, just based on, like, if, you know, they've been successful with other revenue streams, or they've got, you know, a super generous community that isn't going to stop being generous. You know, there's probably some affiliates that are making way more than partners, and then there's probably a lot more partners than we think. There is a lot more partners than we think that, you know, just like us, it's just a hobby thing, or it's just a little bit of a part-time job they consider, but, you know, they've got full-time things or full-time obligations, and Twitch is really just their time to have fun and play games.
One partner that I know specifically, he has a full-time job. He streams 3 days a week now, and 100% of his Twitch revenue he puts into the stream, mostly in gifted subs to other people. I believe he, in his own stream, has the badge for having gifted 2,500 subs.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
And that's all, like, stream revenue goes into, like, giving more people subs. And if someone can't afford to sub for a month, he just goes, oh, please let me buy it for you. So he just, like, he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money at all. So he just wants people to enjoy the stream, and you feel like more a part of a community if you are subscribed, if everyone else is subscribed.
Right.
It's true. Yeah.
That's very generous of him to do.
Yeah, it's a really nice environment, because there's, like, you never feel that pressure to donate to him, because you know that he will just use it for subs.
Right. Yeah. That's good. kind of speaking on, the end or the end all be all, like, is Twitch partner really the end?
Not at all.
No. But that's kind of, it's hard. It can feel, I can understand how people see it as it, because it's kind of the goal at the top of the list, of the achievement list. It's like getting started, past the affiliate, and then past the partner, or whatever they are called. But there is like this steady, you have it as a checklist of all the tasks you need to fulfill, so to speak. And once you have achieved partnership, there's nothing else on Twitch that tells you like, this is what you do now. So it can feel like that's the end, but also then you start feeling, oh, what now? Like suddenly you're on your own, and it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah. Like ever since
like
your
a
first
partner.
ever stream.
Oh no, God.
So, like from your first ever stream on Twitch, you get like the stream summary, and it shows you your progress to your next path too. Every single time they throw that in your face constantly. Here's how close you are to the next achievement.
Yeah.
And then you get partnered, and then you get that summary, and it's just nothing. It's no, okay, what now? It doesn't give you anything else. It doesn't, like, you miss that. I know that path to partner number is hell. It's nightmare to look at every single time you streamed. But when you don't have it anymore, it's like, okay, what? Oh, all right. So a lot of people just burn out because they don't have that next goal, and people are very driven by goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand why people think that partner is the end.
It's kind of one of those things where you know, once you have partner, you really have to sit down with yourself and figure out new goals. Like what is something that I can work towards that, you know, to keep that drive going. Have you guys set any goals for yourself with your stream? Like, you've been partner for a while now, but you know, or are you just kind of doing it for?
Well, to speak from my own experience, when I got partnered that year, I actually started making little checklists of my own, little lists that I have next to me on my wall. And I made them, and I thought, oh, this is nice. Now I have something to work towards. And during, I would say, 2019, I realized how bad it was, because it adds a lot of more pressure and stress to myself. Like the thing with getting partnered was that, oh, it's a relief. I don't have to maintain and work towards all of this, like to keep up all of this, hitting all of this thresholds or whatever. And suddenly I have made those checklists for myself, and every time I saw something that I overestimated or something I didn't manage to hit, even if that was like post this amount of times on Instagram, I felt like I had failed. So last year it was like I did it at the beginning of 2019, and when I saw that during the year I wasn't able to live up to this, I stopped. So goals are good, but also you don't need them. You don't yeah, I think you should be careful with it as well, so you don't put too much pressure on yourself. There's definitely good, it's definitely good to have something to work towards, but I would say don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Sounds like a New Year's resolution is kind of what it sounds like. It's a very similar
like
thing
that.
of where people set themselves a New Year's. For people, like the common one is to get going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to the gym for like the first month, and you step on the scale and you've gone up a pound, and then people just stop.
Yeah.
Like they don't, they just demotivate super quickly. And I feel like it'd probably be a very similar thing of where you set yourself up for, I'm going to do this. And then I don't know, like, even if you don't give yourself a time period, I feel like you, like when you were writing it, you already had a time period in your head of when you wanted to hit that. And when you don't, or you barely come close, like it ends up becoming a demotivator rather than, I'll hit it. I'll try and get this next month, you know?
It's also important to set goals too that are, you know, realistic, instead of trying to like change your whole behavior to try and satisfy what you think everyone wants to, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, earlier I was actually going to equate partner to getting like a high school diploma is what it seems like. It's like, it seems like they give you that structure of where you're supposed to go to get to the point. And then at least at least here in the US, once you get your high school diploma, like there's no more help really, at least in my experience. Like once like they kind of just throw you out in the world and hey, you have to like now you have to go and do college if you want, get a job, try and survive. Like they didn't teach you really of how to have to do bills or any of that. It's interesting because it feels that way with Twitch, because like I feel like all the things you learned how to do to get to partner, you could then apply a lot of that to like other streams of revenue, like you can branch that. I feel like a lot of the experience you get like going up to that point, you can branch that off into YouTube and try and start doing stuff there. And I feel like you self-teach yourself, but without guidance to those things, I feel like a lot of people won't find their way there,
Yeah.
It can be.
I would agree with that.
So do you still have those checklists on your wall, Heki?
Yes, they're sitting there. The 2019 goals that I wrote at the end of 2018, it's still next to me, and it's sad. It's a sad reminder of what I still haven't achieved.
You got to tear that down, Heki.
I think so too. It's very sad. Every time I look over, I see it, and I'm like, dang, I still haven't hit that one milestone I thought 2 years ago almost that I would have hit during 2019. And the fact that, I think I should tear them down.
Probably a good idea.
You're doing great without it. I don't know what was written on there, but you're doing wonderful without them.
Thank you.
I would actually like to comment on that, because a lot of people set goals like I want to hit a certain viewer count or a certain follower number, or like hit those stats that ultimately you have no control over them. Yeah, you can do things that influence them and you can do things that make them more likely, but like I stopped setting goals like that a long time ago because I realized that I put so much value on myself if I didn't hit them. And instead, I am now setting goals like I want to stream a certain amount of time per month. I want to hit that streamed hours number. That's like my main goal. And I want to do more collaborations because I've never done collaborations. And now suddenly I am doing quite a lot. And I feel like
wonderful.
They're
awesome. They're
so a lot of
entertaining.
fun.
Yes.
Thank you. And like that's both a thing that helps me develop myself, but it's also beneficial to the stream. So I am setting more goals like that now, rather than number-based goals, because I feel like they're healthier for me.
Control.
That's really
they're in
good.
my control.
Yeah,
that's really good. It's so easy to start equaling your self-worth with like the numbers you achieve or your stats in general. Yeah. So I think that's a very, very healthy way of setting goals and check milestones.
That is like, and honestly, I feel like even that advice kind of applies regardless of partnership. Like even you know, affiliates that are watching, like that's really good advice for everybody. Because like I had set, because I just had my 1 year on Twitch, and I set 2020 goals like at the end of December, like what to do in 2020. And so I had like a follower number goal and like an average viewers that I would have liked to have, blah blah blah. And now that I have reached those goals that I had set, and now I'm past that 1 year mark, and now I probably should set some kind of goal, but I think I'm gonna take your advice and do it more from the stuff that's in my control. Like yes, path to partners there, but you're right, like viewership is, whether we like it or not, it is out of our control for the most part, and it can fluctuate wildly. So I think it's that ends up being for a better brain if you set goals that are in your control.
Yeah, and I think that like mental health in regards to partnership in streaming in general, I think that that's going to be a topic for a separate episode, because I know that everyone on the team can talk a lot about that, but I think it's very important. And like set goals that you can achieve and that you have to stretch a little bit to reach, but that is still entirely within your control. So stream a certain amount of time, like visit one new stream per week, post on Twitter once per day, stuff like that. It will still help you. It'll help you achieve those long-term number goals, but they're still within your control. And I think that's very, very important.
I really like this. This bit of conversation was really good for me. I hope that people watching have felt the same. There was some talk on Twitter recently about the idea of requiring a certain stream activity amount or threshold to maintain Twitch partner status. Right now, there isn't. There is no, once you have partner, you're partner until, well, not until, until if you get banned, I should say.
In perpetuity.
When you get banned.
Yeah. What do you two think about the idea of requiring that? Like if Twitch ever goes that direction of, okay, a lot of people are qualifying to be partners, and maybe they review, because I think there's like 30-some thousand partners now on the platform, which is a lot.
Commander Root recently posted the new numbers. There's been a huge increase in 2020.
Mm-hmm. So, and then Commander Root also posted data about like of the amount of partners that there are, how many have streamed within the last 3 months. And there was a significant chunk of streamers that hadn't streamed at all. Now, we could attribute that to a variety of different reasons, but yeah, let's just have a conversation about this, because this is something that is interesting to me, because we all know that Discord has requirements to maintain.
Yeah.
So let's talk about if Twitch were to do that. What would you, what do we think would be good to see?
Speaking as somebody who is a Discord partner, or has been a Discord partner since 2018, and now that they have introduced a new way of having partners have to maintain their stats in Discord to still to not be kicked out of the Discord partner program, I must say that it has added a surprising amount of stress. And suddenly you have this whole new thing to worry about when you thought that, dang, I achieved something and now I'm proud of it. And then suddenly you have to kind of worry about that number again. I cannot see how it wouldn't be extremely hurtful for people to probably have that same thing happen on Twitch. Like partners already, as we said about earlier, most partners at least, they are very aware of their stats and they are very self-conscious when their stats don't hit the requirements for partnerships. So having like not only having to stress over the fact that, oh no, I'm not worthy of this, but in knowing that, oh, if I don't meet these requirements, I'm gonna get kicked out of being a Twitch partner. Especially when numbers, as you guys just mentioned, numbers are not always something that you can fully have control over. I think it would not be a nice idea. I do not think stats should be something.
I guess it depends what the stats are. Like, and going back to that conversation of focusing on what you can control, like if Twitch partnership maintained streaming activity requirements only, so not based on viewership,
yes,
would that be okay?
Definitely. I don't mind that. Like if somebody hasn't streamed for 3 years, they probably really don't there is no meaning to that check mark. Maybe I know that nowadays, as I said very early on, there used to be a limited amount of partner slots, and now there isn't because there is not partner representatives. But even though there isn't any limited amount of partner badges or so, I think Twiggy, you had a good point about this, right? There's still partner, there's still partners cost more for Twitch, right?
They do. They cost more for two main reasons, I believe. Number one is guaranteed transcoding. That costs a lot of money. Increased video storage. That costs a lot of money. And for partners, Twitch also covers the payment processing of your monthly payout. So there are extra costs in partners. Not a lot, but when you have, there's currently 48,000 I checked. That adds up. If all of them stream regularly, that adds up. Now, only 31,000 partners streamed in Q3 2020. That's a pretty low percentage of the total amount of partners. But I definitely agree that if there's going to be some kind of requirement to keep your partner status, I think focusing on the numbers would be the wrong choice. And I think that would really highlight a very unhealthy culture.
Yes.
Because we've talked a lot about earlier about like finding that one game that drives up your numbers and then kind of getting stuck on that one game and being scared to branch out and do something else. And say that, let's go back to Dark Souls, since we can all relate to Dark Souls. Say that you get partnered playing Dark Souls and you do really, really well with it, and you get partnered and you have fun, and then you start getting bored. And then you try playing something else, and then your viewer count drops down to 20. What are you going to do? Continue streaming other things and drop down to 20 viewers and risk losing your partnership, or go back to Dark Souls and be burnt out? Because I know this one partner who he found his one main game. Obviously, not going to mention names or anything like that. He found his one main game, streamed that for about a couple of months, and ended up getting average like 200 to 300 viewers. He went from 10 viewers to 200 to 300 on that one game, and he streamed nothing else.
Wow.
Then he burnt out like heavily, and he quit playing that one game, and he dropped down to 5 viewers. For months, and was unable to grow past those 5 viewers. And so he went back to his main game, and he was miserable. I think he stopped streaming now because he was so miserable. And if he had that added pressure of like, okay, if you don't go back to your main game, you're going to lose your partnership. Like it's so unhealthy. Yeah. And I think that no one would benefit from that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like it like goes towards stagnation of content, you know, of where like I feel like at that point like people will find what works and then they just like will only stick to that, you know, because everybody will be so afraid to move a muscle from exactly where they are. Which ends up making it so the streamer is miserable, and so the content they're putting out isn't as great, which would then further drive people away, because like when you don't enjoy what you're doing, especially on stream, when you have to like do it for like people, you know, you stream for like 48 hours like is a typical thing for people. Like people can tell when you're not enjoying what you're doing. It comes
definitely
off whether you're trying to cover it up or not. I feel like it, like, you know, it seeps into what you're doing, and once people catch that, you know, like they will go somewhere where it doesn't feel that way, which will only afford more to like a more toxic nature of where, I'm doing what should be keeping me afloat, and it's no longer doing that. And so now I turn, like, I'm doing what I should be doing. Do I turn to something that I know for sure will cause me to lose viewers anyway? Like it's a thing of it's just like it would create this endless cycle, I feel like, of like negative feedback.
That's exactly it. It would be so unhealthy. And I think that Twitch doesn't really have a responsibility, I think, to maintain people's mental health, but I think that they have a responsibility to not implement things that will directly negatively affect it.
Right.
So yeah, I think that basing it on numbers would definitely lead to that negative cycle, and a lot of people being burnt out, and a lot of people stopping streaming, and a lot of people not creating the content that is the best for them to create. Yeah. And I think that that's detrimental to Twitch as well.
Yeah. I think if they did implement something to kind of, you know, maintain that status, like I was just thinking, like, you know, have it X number of hours or days per year. And if they do it per year, then that means that people can take breaks, right? They can take a month off if they want, or 2 months off.
Yeah.
You know, even if they did it over 3 months, I still think that would be too short of a period to have X number of days or hours in a 3-month period. But, you know, just something so that it's like, okay, we gave you a partner badge and a lot of benefits that come with that. Here's the requirements to keep it, you know? And yeah, and then maybe even if you end up losing it, you know, I think having been a partner should still count for something if at some point, you know, your mood changes and you want to get a partner back, right? Like don't go through the same grind. It should be lower requirements. Yeah, like don't go through the same grind that you did the first time, right?
Yeah.
So, but very interesting. Yeah, just interesting to talk about that.
Yeah, I would also like to point out, like, There's a lot of people on Twitch who get partnered because they have a contract with an esports organization or some kind of brand, and that comes with an automatic partnership. What if they stop having that contract? Should they be allowed to keep their partnership?
Right.
Because there's a lot of accounts out there that have 0 to 5 average viewers, but they're partnered because they once signed with a organization, but they never streamed. How much value is it in them having that partnership?
Right. Especially when Twitch is paying guaranteed transcoding and extra video storage for someone with 5 viewers. That's not exactly good money spent.
No,
well,
it definitely isn't.
Many of these also, if they don't stream, if people have been partnered for 5 years because they were part of an esports organization back then, if they don't stream nowadays, I guess they don't cost that much because they don't have the transcoding, they don't have any payout fees that needs to be covered, and they don't have any storage. So maybe it won't cost as much if they're completely inactive, but it still feels like there should maybe be some sort of baseline.
Well, it's kind of just, it's like a little bit discouraging in a way as an affiliate to see like so many inactive accounts, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, man, there's like 12,000 or however, no, it was like 17,000. Can't remember what the math was, but yeah, it's just like that's not a small amount of accounts. Like that's
especially when there are so many affiliates that are really grinding, working hard and streaming regularly and everything, working very hard on the content, and then somebody sits there with a badge but they don't produce anything.
Yeah, so many affiliates that are deserving of partner out there.
100%.
Cool. Well, we could maybe, someone had asked in the chat, Everdream had asked earlier if there was going to be an opportunity for chat to ask questions. And we do have a few minutes where we could maybe take 1 or 2 for Twiggie and Hecky to answer if anyone wants to jump in with a question. And I think maybe in future episodes we'll make time for this to have like chat questions at the end. So a lot of my questions have been answered. I asked too early.
You're welcome.
That means we did good.
We covered the stuff. We did it.
Yeah.
I think I just want to again stretch the fact that like don't get yourself locked. Like early on, try to not get stuck in a directory or on something. Like don't start Dark Souls because we talked about getting partner during it, because I've gone through that. When I first started, I played only Counter-Strike, without anything else, and branching out to something else. When I eventually got burnt out and bored of Counter-Strike, I suddenly had lost 2/3 of the view base I had built up by then, and that wasn't even that was only the beginning. So I think making your choice to branch out earlier, like don't feel like you have to wait to YOLO a little bit.
Right.
Like feel free to try other things.
Like Tug always says, streaming is all about throwing crap at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Yes.
I love Twiggie when Stims just said, how excited were you for emote slots? Twiggie goes, I had all 50 emotes ready to go before I got partnered.
I have a thing for emotes.
Well, it's because Teal is amazing. And
she is.
Your emotes are fantastic. Anyone who uses Teal honestly has amazing emotes. Yeah, she's great. Maybe I should ask, is Teal I don't know, pronoun? I shouldn't have assumed.
I don't know.
Twiggie with regards to emotes and gasm.
This is accurate.
Yeah.
Wait, did we end up with questions in there?
Yeah,
Hekimae with Kappa says, how far is the NookCast channel on the path to partner? We've hit the average viewership, no problem. But that it's that hours and days per month that we are a little bit not hitting, Means NookCast has to go 3 days a week.
God. goodness.
Are you guys up for that?
No. I will be straight up honest. I've got a full-time job and my own stream and
just quit all of it.
And no. NookCast Dark Souls streams ? Says Stims.
NookCast Dark Souls. You just want to watch us all die?
Tug says, stretch out, Joe. You got work to do.
No. God. Getting this together, it doesn't look like much. But it took some time.
Ever says, I watched The Big Dig to see you all die. Oof.
Oh, it's true.
It is true, though.
Can we just...
It is true, though.
We just pass along one Dark Souls file to everybody?
Is that possible?
But every time we die, it has to be restarted.
Oh, dear
No.
Lord. Please, no.
All right. Well, I feel like we've given it a few minutes and we haven't had really any other big partner questions. So with that, we're almost at the 2-hour mark for the stream, guys. I think we should go on a raid. Let's go send love to Jim, who is doing his 24-hour stream today to celebrate 3 years on Twitch. But before we do that, Twiggie, Heki, thank you so much for being the first guests on the NookCast, for coming and talking about partnership. This was a topic that I've been excited about since the NookCast was even before it was officially a thing and we were kind of talking about it. I think based on comments I've seen in the chat, just as I glance over throughout the podcast, a lot of people have found this information incredibly valuable. I found it incredibly valuable. I'm sure Joe has too. So thank you for coming on here with us to talk. This was awesome.
Yeah,
I am so happy to hear that. Thank you for trusting us to be your first guests.
Aww.
Yes, thank you. It's been an honor to be on the first guest episode, and it's a lot of fun.
All right.
The first guest episode.
Yes.
Guest
Please
episode,
don't
yeah.
let that become a thing.
There it is. What we were worried about, it all came to fruition right at the end.
Beautiful. All right. So with that, raid message. Oh, Tug, thank you. Awesome.
3 years.
I can always count.
Yeah,
I
I
can
like
always
that.
count on Tug for a great raid message to spam.
Don't give him a big
in
head.
JJamstem.
It's too late for that.
I like to compliment. Okay.
He's gonna knock the world off its axis with his big head.
Oh, he's actually doing his segment with Tubex right now. So we
Is
can
he? I
jump
was
on that.
wondering. Yes. So, all right, guys. Yeah, they're playing co-op. It's co-op raft right now, right? Chu is on there with him. Perfect. All right, let's go send a bunch of love to Jim. Go give him a follow if you're not already following him. He is a very valued member of the Nook team.
Wait, you're not
Lovely
following
boy.
Jim? What's wrong with you?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Not to be mean about it, but I mean, if you're not following. Anyway. But with that, guys, thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye here, and we'll catch you in about 2 weeks from now with another episode, another topic, more guests. Should be good. We'll let you know when we've decided what it will be and who will be with us. But with that, over to you, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.